All right, Whams. So let's talk about character analysis in this lesson and what you're going to have to do. So if you look at my screen here, I have the story, The Day It Rained Cockroaches. Okay, so the main character we're going to analyze is Paul. Please remember, the only character we're going to analyze is Paul. That's the main character. It's also the author. So we're going to go through here, and what you're going to do is you're going to come up with a total of 6 character traits, sort of like this. This is sort of an example. As you noticed over in this column, there's the location and detail section. You'll have to put the page number and roughly what detail you're using to analyze. Then there's the what this shows. That column, you're going to put a little sticky note or note as to, what does it show? What's the point of it? And then you're going to put your full analysis as to why the author put it there and what its purpose is about that character. Once again, we're only working with Paul. You're going to use the sticky note feature to fill out the boxes. So you'll put your point, you fill them in, make sure it fits, and move on. You've got 1, 2, 3 pages of this. That's a total of 6 character analysis entries that you're going to have to do. I'm going to do one of them with you, and if you want to use it, I'll let you use it. That's your choice. But I need 6 of them. And yes, you can steal this one from me if you want. So on The Day It Rained Cockroaches, I've already read through it a little bit. You'll want to read through it and find something that's said, done, or otherwise betrays something about Paul and who he is. But I found a nice one that I'm going to use right down here. So they're talking about Paul, the author, is talking about his childhood home at 123 Glen Street, and he's describing his backyard as this really shabby thing with a bad looking airport and everything just looks terrible, but mom is clearly in love with it. So it says, "Isn't everything beautiful?" Mother beamed, that means smiled. "Yes, Mom," I said. "Betty gave me a pinch for lying." There, stop. That's plenty. The author just told you that when he was a kid, he lied to his mother about how pretty the place was. So that right there is your text detail. This is on page 69 of the story, and we're going to go with this part right here that says Betty pinched him for lying. So I'm going to come over here. Remember that I like to use green for this. Okay, so remember that it's on page 69, so I'll say PG 69, comma. The detail is that he was pinched. So Betty pinched Paul for lying. Okay, so we have the page number and the detail. Let's go ahead and close that. All right, so that's our first character analysis item that we're going to have. All right, boom. Okay, now we need more of this. So now we got to ask ourselves, what does this show? What's the point of this? So we're going to go ahead and do another one. I do a different color. Kind of like orange for this one. Okay, so Betty pinched Paul for lying. So this shows that Paul was lying. Right, but about what? This shows that Paul... Try this. This shows that Paul didn't like his new home. All right. Okay, go ahead and make it a little bit bigger so it's easier to see my sticky note. There we go. So right now we have the page number, the detail from the story, and we have what it shows, that Paul really didn't like the home. That's why he lied to his mom about liking it or thinking it was pretty. It's the same thing. All right, so now on full analysis, we're going to do a little note explaining in more detail about why the author is doing this. For me, I'll use pink for the big one here. It's sort of close to red. So I'll say the author writes about this detail because it shows that Paul does not like the house. Okay, so we already know that, but that's no different than what it shows. So why is this a full analysis? Because I'm not done yet. Watch this. So we already know that it shows that Paul does not like the house, but it also shows something else about his mom and his relationship. And that is that it shows that Paul does not like the house, but he does not want to hurt his mom's feelings. Paul is considerate of her feelings. Okay, that might be a little hard for some of you guys to figure out. I get that. Do the best you can. You might not have as much detail because you haven't been reading and thinking about this stuff as long as I have. But that's my full analysis. So I have, just to recap, I have the page number, I have the detail, that is that Betty pinched Paul for lying. What this detail shows, it shows that Paul didn't like the new home. That's simple. And then I go deeper in learning something about Paul, and I say that the author writes about this, because we are talking about the author's intention. So the author's writing this. The author writes about the detail because it shows that Paul does not like the house, but he does not want to hurt his mom's feelings. That's the big reason he lied, because his not liking the house, he could have just said, I don't like the house, Mom. The fact that he lied about it is because he does not want to hurt her feelings, which means that Paul is considerate of her feelings. So one thing you can say about Paul is that he cares about what his mother thinks and feels. That's a good boy, right? All right, guys, do not forget, you can borrow mine if you want and use it, but you have to fill out page 1, 2, and 3. That's 6 character analysis pieces of evidence from the text, just like I did. Feel free to steal mine, but if you do, you still have 5 more to go. All right, guys, don't forget to turn in your work. Can't wait to see your inferences and what you have to say about Paul and the exit ticket.